Thank you so much, Nitinji, for inviting me and giving this opportunity to once again revisit, restudy, research about one of the most fundamental texts which taught us how to defend our own idea and how to refute the opponent in a precise manner. So today we are really honored to once again understand what SriHarsha wanted us to do. Because nowadays we hear the word Shatrubodha a lot. Shatrubodha means understanding your opponent. But understanding our opponent is not enough. You should also refute it. Because in any vivada or in any conflict, it doesn't end until you finish off your opponent. So finishing off your opponent in a argument situation is what SriHarsha is trying to teach us. And the word itself is actually the word of this text itself is very, very beautiful. Many of us read it wrong, but I wanted to make that a point also today. It is Khandana Khandakhadya. Khandakhadya is a term related to sweets or desserts. Like it is not the main course of the diet. It is a occasional thing that we consume, and it is very delightful to our what you say sense taste. It is very delightful. So here generally we feel Khandana is not delightful. Whenever you are defuting somebody, it is not naturally delightful, but it will become delightful if our purpose of refuting somebody is profound. So here SriHarsha is trying to teach us to be delightful while you immerse in the conflict, while you are refuting your opponent, be delightful. Learn how to be delightful when you are actually dismantling your opponent's view, because the Siddhanta what Sriharsha wanted to propose is that profound. It is the oneness. It is the Advaita Tattva he wanted to re-establish, or he wanted to teach us how to stick on to the Advaita Tattva. Even though there are other schools originated in this land which are sometimes confusing for the seeker. The sadhaka might be confused because those other schools or thoughts or concepts are so pleasing to us, or it is so easy to understand because it don't need any sadhana to experience something. It might be confusing also. Even though my Advaita Guru is telling this, I think there might be some other paths also towards the eternal truth. This might be a confusion. So for a sadhaka, that confusion will dilute his what you say mumukshutvam, or his reaching his destination. Hence, in this Khandakhadya Grantha, Sriharsha is applying all those techniques actually proposed by Gautama and others, other Tarkikas, and he is using their own methods to defute them or refute them, defeat them. So today I am trying to talk on the inadequacy of definitions in Nyaya, particularly Nyaya in the sense both Nyaya and Vaisesika, the Tarka Shastra, and I am going to take a small study of the definition given to Dravya. Okay, before even we enter into that, I want to give a very brief introduction how these darshanas are actually formed and how should we see. We should not see in such a way that Gautama and SriHarsha are fighting. It's not the purpose of the entire creation of this knowledge, but it is about the thought model each scholar or each Shastrakara had, and it is for us, it is a training for us to understand different thought models. It is very, very important to understand how Tarka is viewing the world and how Vedanta is viewing the world, and how I should take some inspirations from both of them, and I am always welcomed in this land to create my own drishti, my own thought model. So darshana is nothing but a drishti, is a perspective or a method to understand the world. So we have different darshanas. We have many, many darshanas. We have astika darshanas, we have nastika darshanas. Just like a spiritual person, a guruji, a baba has a different view of the same world. In the same way, a politician might have a different view because the purpose of a politician is very, very different from the purpose of the guru. In the same way, the darshana or the thought model of a businessman of the same creation is different. His prayojana is to create wealth, create institutions, and create profit. And in the same way, for a family, the same world is slightly different. For a teacher, it is different. From an actor, it is different. So, as seekers, we all are seekers. We at the end, we want to seek delight. We want to seek the truth. So, for us, knowing these different drishtikonas or these different perspectives will help us to fill our gaps. We all are not gapless. We all have gaps in our personalities. So understanding these drishtis will help us to mend some problems we have. We might be very efficient in solving some of our own problems or the problems of the world. So by keeping that in the background, now we should understand what is the thought model of the Tarka Shastra. So Tarka Shastra is a representation of both Nyaya and Vaisesika. I am taking the Nyaya Vaisesika Sutra here as an example. So in the fourth sutra, Kanada Maharshi, he tries to give his own thought model or his own view about the universe, that we have four purusharthas. We all know that those are dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. And always moksha is considered as the nitya purushartha or the parama prayojana. So all of the darshanas want to tell us that there is something which we all need to attain while we are in the anusthana or the upasana stage that is not yet reached. Hence, we need to strive, we need to train ourselves to reach that particular destination, which is called Nishreyasa in this particular sutra. We have many words for that. The organizer of this particular talk also bears that word, which is moksha, which is most popular among them. We also have kaivalya. We have many other words for that. Abhyudaya, Nishreyasa, many, many words we have. So those all terms are suggesting a parama purushartha, which is the most desirable state in which a jiva needs to reach. So for that, Kanada Maharshi tells dharma vishesha prasutat द्रव्य गुण कर्म सामान्य विशेष समवायानां पदार्थानां साधर्म्य वैधर्म्याभ्याम तत्वज्ञानान् निश्रेयसम. So he is telling that we would attain nishreyasam because of one Jnana. Jnana is nothing but understanding. Here we are talking about Tattva Jnana. Tattva Jnana is the essential knowledge. Knowledge in the form of an essence, which will be not changing every time. It is the Siddhanta kind of a thing. So because of the Tattva Jnana, we will attain a state called Nishreyasa. So how will we understand the Tattva Jnana, or what is the content of that Tattva Jnana? So the Tattva Jnana of the universe, of the creation. So that creation is classified into Padarthas. There are 7 Padarthas, 6 are Bhava Padarthas, and 1 is Abhava Padartha. Just now we understood what is Bhava and Abhava. One which is going through the Shad Bhava Vikaras, it is called as Bhava Padartha. One which is absent, one which is not there, is called as Abhava Padartha. So hence the entire universe is classified into 7, and the entities are called as Padarthas. And because of Dharma Visesha, Dharma is nothing but the Punya. Because all these darshanas are astika, and inherently they are built upon the karma siddhanta. Hence, to attain that tattva also, we need to have some punya, which is dharma visesha here. So dharma visesha prasutat tattva. These are the attributes or the viseshana of tattva. So how will one attain the tattva? It is only because of sadharmya vaidharmyabhyam. By understanding the similarities and the differences between the padarthas, a seeker will be allowed to channelize his consciousness or his own comprehension towards the inherent essence of each and every padartha, and which that essence will lead to the Nishreyasa. That is the overall worldview he is giving to us. Like, how should we understand this world and what should I attain? So here the first thing is that we need to understand the padarthas. First level understanding is essential. Then when you channelize your own intelligence towards understanding the depth of each and every padartha by using a method called sadharmya vaidharmya, which is similarity and difference, you will be acquiring the tattva jnana, which is the vastavika jnana, the essential principle or the wisdom which is not changeable, which is eternal, which is applicable to all times, all places, all locations, all situations. That is called as tattva jnana, and that tattva jnana will lead us to nishreyasa. And the definition given to nishreyasam here is dukkha dhvamsa, charamasya dukkhasya dhvamsaha. So the attainable state is nothing but where there is no place for suffering. All the sufferings are ended or destroyed. That is the state to which we all aspire to reach. So this process will lead to that. So why are we talking about all these things? Because in today's exposition, we are going to understand how SriHarsha dismantles the fundamentals of Tarka Shastra, like on which the Tarka Shastra is built, on which the Tarka Shastra is proposing that this is one of the main paths towards realization. Okay, so there, how the Tarka Shastra is framed, or how the knowledge is framed in the Tarka Shastra. Tarka Shastra means again the Vaisesika and the Nyaya paths. Here in the Nyaya Bhashyam, we get a Vyakhyana that Trividha chasya shastrasya pravrittihi uddeshaha lakshanam pariksha cheti. So the proposition in which the propositions made by Tarka Shastra are in this format that they are forming the knowledge in three parts. The first part will be Uddesha Grantha. Uddesha Grantha is enumeration. So first of all, they will enumerate what all are the entities in this creation. What comes under Dravya? What are gunas? What are karmas? In this way, they will give a very beautiful ontological structure to it. Then they are deliberately, precisely defining them. Manadhina meya siddhihi, they say. So for them to propose something, they need to prove that using some means of knowledge which is called as pramana, and they should also establish them by giving them good definitions. We will also talk about what is a good definition and what is not. Then they are also examining that particular definition, whether it is fitting to that particular concept or not. Hence, when a seeker is channelized through these processes like enumeration, definition, and examination, then he will be understanding all the dimensions of that particular entity, and which helps that seeker to lead or to journey towards the ultimate reality. So here we need to understand what is a lakshana. Lakshana is a definition, and there are two facades of this, which is vyavrittirva vyavaharo va lakshanasya prayojanam. So the goal of a lakshanam is to differentiate the lakshya or the defined entity from other entities, and also help to identify that and use. For example, if I am knowing the definition of a cow, that definition, the knowledge of that definition is helping me to differentiate cows from other animals. Okay, that is one purpose of making a definition. And the other purpose is to identify that this is a cow. This particular thing is a cow. Now I have also differentiated the other entities, and now I have also identified one entity. So this is the purpose of a definition. Now, if we say, what is the definition, or ask what is the definition of the cow? If somebody says that Neela Rupavatvam Goho Lakshanam, which means having a different kind of a black color is the definition of a cow, it might fit to those black cows which are called as Kapila Gau. So all those black cows are in black color. Somebody might say that it is a good definition, but it is not, because not all cows are in black color. Some are also white, some are brown, some are different colors, mix of different colors. Hence, black color or a different kind of a black color is not the definition of a cow. So what is the kind of dosha we have here? This is called as avyapti. Knowing this is very important, because how SriHarsha is dismantling Tarka viewpoint, it will only be understood when we understand this. Okay. So now not all cows are covered. It is avyapti. Vyapti is coverage in simple language. Avyapti, it is not covered. The definition is not covering all the defined terms or all the defined objects. Okay. Then if I say Shringitvam Goho Lakshanam, Shringitvam means having horns. Because all cows have horns in general. There are some exceptions when those cows are having some disease or anything, but in general, all cows have horns. But here, if I ask, is this a good definition? It is not, because even though it is covered in all normal cows, but it is deviating and exceeding the boundary of the defined object. What I want to define was a cow, and the horns are present in not only cows but also other animals. Hence, it is called as ativyapti. Vyapti is coverage and ativyapti is exceeding the boundary of defined objects. Hence, this is also not a good definition. Then, if I say ekashaphavatvam goho lakshanam, shapha is called as hood in English, or the kind of foot the animals have. So then generally their feet are different. So hoof is this hard part which they have. So ekashaphavatvam means having one single hoof, one single hoof. But in cows, we generally see there are two hoofs. It's not one. Only in horses and other horse-related animals have this. Hence, if I say ekashapavatvam is the definition of cow, it is asambhava, because not even one cow have ekashapavatvam, only having one shapa. Hence, what is a good lakshana? So good lakshanas, lakshana. So the definition of a definition, lakshana vicharaha, is a very famous vichara we have in the Tarka Shastra, which is dushanatraya rahito dharmaha, dushanatraya rahitaha. Dushanam means the errors which we have seen just now, avyapti, ativyapti and asambhava. So that definition, that is called as a definition, that characterization or that particular formula is called as a lakshana, which don't have these three errors. Okay, that is only a good lakshana. In that matter, what is the best lakshanam for a cow? Which is called as sasnadimatvam. Sasna is this gangadolu we call in Telugu, which is only found in the desi cow, the original Indian breed of cow. And it is also having this particular kind of a hump on its back. Okay, so then it is called as sasnadimatvam is the correct definition, because you only find this in Indian cows. Hence, this is a good lakshana. It is not having ativyapti, avyapti or asambhava. Now we come to the main point of this discussion, which is SriHarsha refuting the Dravya Lakshana. And actually the purpose of SriHarsha is not refuting everything, whatever is told in the Tarka Shastra, because he himself is using the concepts of Tarka Shastra, but he is trying to channelize our drishti towards the ultimate reality proposed by Vedanta, proposed by Advaita Vedanta. Now, here in the 15th sutra of the first adhyaya, we have the Dravya Lakshanam in Vaisesika Sutra, which is Kriya Gunavat Samavayikaranamiti Dravya Lakshanam. Kriya Gunavat. Kriya means action. Guna is characterization or quality, we can say as quality. So there are around 24 gunas and 5 kriyas. Kriya is nothing but action, movement. So that entity is called as Dravya, which has guna and also which has karma or kriya or action in it. And the relationship between guna and Dravya is samavaya, which is inherent relationship. And also the relationship between karma and Dravya is also samavaya. So hence the definition is boiling down in this way, that Dravya is that entity which has guna with a relationship called samavaya, or which has karma with the relationship samavaya. So this is the definition proposed by Vaisesika Sutrakara Kanada Maharshi. And further he is also classifying the types of dravyas into 9. Prithivya Tejo Vaivakasha Kalavigatma Manamsi. So that is another issue. Now SriHarsha says, Itopi Gunashrayo Dravyamityasanghatam. His style is very profound and it's very unique also. He will be identifying those loopholes in the entire Tarka Shastra. He will take each and every loophole and he will dismantle with precision. So here he is saying Gunashrayo Dravyamityasanghatam. Possessing qualities is one lakshana told by Kannada. No? So we have Kriya Gunavat, which boils down to Kriyavat and Gunavat. So Gunavat Dravyam will be one part of the definition. And he's saying that that is not possible. Why? Why is that not a good lakshanam? Because your lakshyam or the defined entity is dravya, and gunas are present not only in dravya but also gunas all guna, because the gunas are divided into 24, which are Rupa Rasagandha Sparsha Sankhya Parimana Puthakta Sanyoga Vibhaga Paratva Paratva Gurutva Dravatva Sneha Shabda Buddhi Sukadukhe Chadvesha Prayatna Dharma Dharma Samskaras Chaturvimshatir Gunaha. So here the gunas are like color, taste, touch feeling, number, and all these things comes under the category of guna. He's saying that a guna called rupam, rupam is nothing but color, which possesses sankhya. Sankhya is nothing but another guna. Sankhya is number. So I can count colors. I would say there are 7 colors, there are infinite colors, there are 24 colors. I can say something. I could also say that my house is colored by 7 colors. Saptavarni mama graham, Saptavarnam mama graham. So I could state it. Hence, he is telling that from day-to-day interactions or day-to-day understanding, we understand that colors, which is a subtype of guna, also has another guna, which is sankhya or number. Hence, your lakshana is not adequate. It is having the ativyapti dosha. Just like if I say the lakshana of cow is having horns, it is ativyaptam because other animals also have horns. So he's saying tatahi kathametal lakshanam avadharaniyam sankhya rupa gunavattaya rupaderapi pratite. So he's refuting in this manner. Now, the opponent might reject this proposition by saying that it might be an illusion. This is a bhranti. Bhranti rasa vidi chet. This is a kind of a illusion. Why? The number of the adhara of color means the entity which possesses color have a quality called sankhya, which is appearing or illusion. An illusion is happening so that the number of that dravya is reflected into the quality, into the color. Hence, this is a bhranti. That is what the Tarkika is saying. Then we should understand that SriHarsha is teaching us how to defend our own proposition. He's saying, Prithivyaadav katham abhrantiriti vaktavyam. If you say that when I am using the sentence that I have 7 colors painted in my house, you are saying that those number, the 7 number is not related to the color, but it is related to the paint. So the color is a quality of the paint. So the number 7 is related to the paint, and that 7 number is reflected by an illusionary process onto the color. Then you should also tell me when I am stating that I have 7 pots. Pots are dravyas, okay? So which come under the Prithvi dravya. So when I am counting that I have 7 pots, how will you tell that it is not a bhranti? How will you tell that the 7 number is only related to the pot but not related to another entity? Just like the 7 number which was actually there in the holder of the color, which is reflected onto the color, in that same process, how will you defend yourself that the 7 number is actually present in the pot but not somewhere else? Prithivyaado katham abhrantiriti vaktavyam. You need to tell me why it is not abhranti. Tatra badhaka bhavaditi chet. Then the opponent, the Tarkika, will say Tatra badhaka bhavat. There is no badhakam, there is no what to say refuter. Okay, when I am seeing 7 parts and counting them, and when I am preparing the sentence to express it, that I have 7 parts, there is no refuter for me to tell that there is no 7th number or 7 numbers, the number 7 in those parts. That those parts are the actual holders of that number. Then I have a badhaka. He's saying, the opponent is saying that I have a badhaka when I am saying that colors, I have 7 colors. So the number 7 is not related to those colors, but it is related to its holder or its adhikaranam. If I say, then the SriHarsha is telling tulyam. Same applies in reverse. What is that? Badhaka bhavat. How in what process are you establishing that there is no badhaka to establish the 7 numbers in a pot, in 7 parts? In the same way, there is no badhaka for me to establish or to state that there are 7 colors in my house. It is everything is the same. I can count the colors. As you are counting the ghatas or the parts, I am counting the colors. Okay, so the process is totally same. Hence, the lakshana or the definition made by you is not right. When I am refuting your definition, it is also implied to your fundamental idea that the entire knowledge is created in or framed in such a way that uddesha lakshana pariksha, okay, in that format. Hence, I am targeting one very important thing in your framework. Because of that, your framework is also not right. This is what he intends. Then the opponent is saying, Gunasya gunavattayam badhakam asmabhiravashyam vaktavyam nirgunaha gunaha iti siddhanta diti chet. The opponent is saying that gunaha nirgunaha bhavanti, which means that all the gunas will not possess guna. Gunas are only there in the dravyas. So gunas don't have guna is the siddhanta, is my siddhanta, is the Tarkika siddhanta. According to that siddhanta, the subtype of a guna, which is a rupa, which is a color, will not possess another subtype of the guna, which is a sankhya. Okay, so numbers are not properties or qualities of gunas. So this is our siddhanta. If he is saying, then mule kuthara nyaya. There is something called, when you are dismantling the most fundamental principle of one thought process, then all the derived thought process are also dismantled. It is also called as the pradhana malla nibarhana nyaya. Okay, here he is saying rupadehe gunatvasya nishchetum ashakyatvat. You cannot definitely tell that rupa is a guna. So this is a very fundamental thing, because the answer given to SriHarsha by the opponents, by the Tarkikas, is that all gunas will not possess another guna. Then the general understanding is that rupa is also a guna, because the Tarkikas have stated it. But now SriHarsha is pointing out a dosha in its fundamental understanding, where rupa is a guna. Rupadehe gunatvasya nishchetum ashakyatvat. You cannot decide that color is a character or a color is a quality. So now we need to understand what is the lakshanam of a guna. I will end my session in few minutes. Kindly bear with me. Dravyashrayi agunavan sanyoga vibhage swakaranam anapekshaha iti guna lakshanam is the gunas lakshana. So here you have one small attribute to it, which is agunavan. That entity is called guna, whose ashraya or the holder will be a dravya, okay, and also which don't possess guna, and another small entity is also, a small attribute is also there. So the main point where we have to emphasize is that the definition of a guna is not having gunas. Here SriHarsha is telling that agunaha iti gunalakshanamshasya sankhyavataya pratiter vidyamanatvat. So in the gunalakshana you have a small attribute called agunaha. Gunas should not have other gunas, should not possess other gunas. This is the main important attribute or the part of the definition we have for gunas. But according to our anubhava or our experience, we count colors, we count different colors. So sankhyavataya pratiter vidyamanatva. Because of this experience of identifying number with colors, you cannot state that color is a guna. Hence, the Mule, according to the Mule Kuthara Nyaya, whatever the building you have built upon a foundation, that foundation itself is very loose. The building built by the Tarkikas is on the foundation called Uddesha Lakshana Pariksha Vidhanam, and that particular process or that method itself is not totally robust. Hence, the idea of yours, which is Dvaita, which is Dvitiya Bhavana, Dvitiyasya Astitva Nirupanam, that is not totally right. Hence, you need to move or change your direction towards the Advitiya Marga. That is what indirectly SriHarsha is trying to teach us. I hope you have understood what I told. If there are any questions, I'm ready to take.